I'm here at ASN Kidney Week 2019 with Adam Boehler, the former director of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovation. Although Mr. Boehler was recently tapped to run the U.S. Development Finance Corporation and confirmed by the Senate, he has rejoined us at Kidney Week to continue the conversation about kidney care. Adam, thank you so much for everything you did to push the envelope on kidney care at CMMI and for being here today. As the architect of the new CMMI kidney care models, I'd love for you to share with some of our viewers what the big picture goals for transforming kidney care are through those models.
I think, Rachel, we had three main goals. The first goal is to prevent kidney disease. So how do we prevent progression? The second is, if you have kidney disease and you move on, are you getting the right choices? We want to make sure that every patient is offered a choice of home modality as well as in-center modality, and that they're educated and make the right choice. And then finally, we really want to address what we consider a critically important issue in getting people kidneys and getting transplants. And so those three goals are what we're focused on.
Goals we at ASN laud and believe is the future of kidney care, so thank you. So Adam, you had a pretty diverse career in the private sector before coming to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovation. I'm interested in what motivated you and led you to focus on kidney care so significantly in your time at CMMI.
Well, before I joined CMMI, I ran a large provider group. And it was a provider group that took full accountability for hundreds of thousands of very sick, complex chronic patients. And when I was leading this group, I saw so many patients that needed help that had kidney disease. And my doctors that worked for me, they came and they said, you know, one, if we had intervened earlier and we had the incentive to do that, then we really could have made a really big difference. And so I saw the problem. And so when I came to CMMI, my biggest question in leaving my business, because it's always hard to leave your business, it's your baby, is, you know, am I going to make a difference here? And eventually I decided this was an area where I knew right away across the country we could make a huge difference. So it was one of the things that gave me confidence to leave my baby in my business, because I knew about the impact we could have on millions of Americans.
Yeah, well, we at ASN are so grateful that you did decide to focus on transforming kidney care and are supportive of the overall package that the models are enacting here. So you've talked a lot today and other times about how essentially in healthcare we get what we pay for through what we incentivize. Can you talk about your approach with some of the incentives that you set up in the models and what sorts of outcomes you think those might lead to, both for clinicians but most importantly for patients?
So we have a system today that pays for people to be in seats, right? And you know, I do, as you said, what you get what you pay for, and the Secretary just said that too. Why should we expect any different? And so I think the key is, if you want to intervene early, if you want to prevent, and then if somebody progresses to end-stage renal disease, you want to say, well, let's get them a transplant as soon as possible. And then if not, let's make sure that home modality is an option if it's appropriate. That's a reverse. And then, so your last resort is somebody sitting in a seat, because I know, and you know, I have direct experience from my aunt, what that means to somebody, what it does to their quality of life. And don't get me wrong, getting dialysis has enabled so many people to live so much longer. But there's a better way, and so it's our job to pay for that better way, to shift that system.
Yeah, as someone whose uncle was on dialysis and later was fortunate to get a transplant, I hope that these models can similarly help other people access that optimal therapy. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So you were recently confirmed by the Senate to run the U.S. Development Finance Corporation. Can you talk a little bit about your transition out of CMMI, what we might expect to see from your successor, and any advice to him or us in the kidney community about the care models moving forward?
Sure. Anytime I move roles, what I try to look for is a common series of values that unites them. And the reason I came to CMMI is the ability to make a big difference for a lot of people. And at DFC, what we do is we invest in emerging countries to take people out of poverty. We invest to advance national security policy, and that meant a lot to me. And it was the same and similar value why I did CMMI, so it's why I made the jump. I think that, and by the way, globally, as you may imagine, There's so much we can do in healthcare. We've learned so much in the United States, what to do and what not to do, and the ability to take that out will be really powerful because healthcare is an area we invest. Advice-wise on this, I think the community has given a lot of comments to the models. My view on comments to models is they're there for a reason. You're thoughtful, you listen, but you make the changes that are designed to benefit not an industry, not a lobbying group. You make changes that are designed to benefit patients. And my favorite thing about the job is, at the end of the day, the patient and the taxpayer, those are your constituencies. And so I'm sure they will do this because they're fantastic people and they're great at what they do. But what I would recommend and what I would do is to go through the comments and never lose touch with who you're focusing on and do what's right for the patient.
Well, we look forward to working with your successor to bring the models to, into the world and hopefully make them a smashing success on behalf of kidney patients. There are 850 million people worldwide affected by kidney diseases, and I hope that they can benefit from your leadership at the DFC moving forward. Again, thank you so much for coming back to Kidney Week to share your insights with us. Adam, it's been a pleasure.
Of course, Rachel, thank you.
Thank you.